Good morning, and today I want to talk about one of my inspirations for Movember, and this proceeds from when I was doing my own Movember fundraising. Obviously, I love Stuart very much, and I started my own Movember fundraiser because Stuart was diagnosed with prostate cancer. But before that, my interest in men's health issues came from this man in this picture, and I'm in this picture too. I'm a baby. This is my father. He's 22 years old here in this picture, and you can see I am so impressed. Uh, I didn't know him so much looking like that. I definitely didn't know him looking like this. This was when he was in grade school. This is where I got my dimples from, which you can see sometimes. We have the double dimples. Actually, I think he's got a triple dimple going on. I don't think I've gotten up to that level yet, but yes, the big smile and the dimples is where mine come from, and the huge forehead and the prominent chin. So yeah, a lot of features of my face come from my father, and my total nerd style, totally from my dad. Oh, okay. I don't think I could look as serious as my dad. Yeah, so this is really how I saw my dad. Uh, I knew him like this. Yeah, totally looking dad here. I have no idea what he caught. That's pretty big, whatever kind of fish that was. And I definitely knew him looking like this quite a bit, and a lot of my kids have seen me like this, having fallen asleep reading a book, and the book on my face or on my shoulder. Thank goodness with Kindles now you don't see it as much. So there are two important aspects of my dad with regards to Movember. The biggest one is that he is the largest intellectual influence in my life, and that can be a whole book, a whole memoir, if you will, which obviously I'm not going to spend time on here. Uh, I'm just trying to think. I'll give you a couple of tastes. One which was like for my eighth or ninth birthday, he gave me an IBM uh, basic programming textbook for like my birthday present. So I taught myself. He actually wasn't a very good teacher. He was a good teacher to me because I could teach myself from books, and he was good at picking out the right books for me to teach myself. So he had, um, for example, bought me Calculus the Easy Way and Martin Gardner books and Raymond Smullyan books and gave me Gödel Escher Bach and stuff like that. So that was when actually the Gödel Escher Bach book was hilarious. He gave that to me. I was probably like 12 or 13 years old. He's like, this is too theoretical for me. You'll love it, and gave it to me. So that was hilarious. Another thing is after I had been doing the basic programming for a while, he used to give me programming challenges. And one was like draw a circle without using the print command. I love doing that. So I actually learned some algebraic geometry and basic programming at the same time. So that gives you an idea of the relationship I had with my father. He also introduced me to science fiction, to MST3K, to Star Trek, and all of that great stuff. So, and I inherited his sci-fi books when he died, which is the second part of this equation of what's the connection to Movember, and that's he died when he was 38 years old. I was 16. He died of a heart attack. So, okay, what's that connection with Movember? So, Movember focuses on prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and suicide specifically, but men's mental health issues. And this is all about improving men's health, but really reducing mortality in men. And I'm going to show you some graphs. So let's switch to the graphs. Okay, here are the graphs. In the modern age, in developed countries, there is a sizable sex gap in life expectancy, in mortality rates. And I'm going to show this. Yes, this is old data. I'm not going to show you pandemic data right now. I'm not going to actually even get into why these sex gaps exist. In some cases, I know why they exist. I can actually give you a causal chain of why they exist. In some of these cases, we don't know why. We have some guesses, but in some cases, we don't know why. So just the straight male female life expectancy gap in the US has been about 5 years, and I believe this is the calendar year, and I hate it that they're using the calendar year life expectancy gap, but whatever, we'll just live with it. Um, and that's this line at the top here. And you see, this is going from 2006 to 2017. It went down and it started going back up again. And I know why it went back up again, and I'm not going to say right now. You'll see that there's non-Hispanic white minus non-Hispanic black life expectancy. That gap has actually come down, so yay for that. That's a racial gap. And then Hispanic, non-Hispanic white life expectancy, that gap has gone up, and that we don't know what's going on there. And I'm sorry, guys, it's that the Hispanic life expectancy is longer than non-Hispanic white life expectancy. And okay, that is not for this video, okay, because we're just focusing on the sex gap here. So for example, non-Hispanic white male, here we go, 76.1 years. Again, this is calendar year life expectancy. And so here's our non-Hispanic white female, it's about 5 years. Non-Hispanic black female has a higher life expectancy than non-Hispanic white males, about 2 years. I'll give you an example. The sex gap is much, much bigger than the racial life expectancy gap. So those are life expectancy. I don't like using those. Let me jump over to ratio of death rates and doing it by age groups. And so I prefer this because then we can see where are the differences the largest. And this is where I am going to jump a little bit into some causal explanations. So here are our age groups under 1 year up to 85 years and over. This is calendar year 2018. It doesn't change a lot year to year. Yes, it was different 2020 and will be different 2021 because, and there is a sex difference with COVID mortality. And yes, it has been more fatal for males than for females. Almost all causes of death, almost all, not all. And I don't mean breast cancer and uterine cancer and that kind of thing, but almost all causes of death, men have a higher death rate for the same ages than for women. I don't know why for some of them. Some of them we do know why. In any case, do a ratio of the death rates, male to female, it's over 1. That's that black line. All ages, every single age group. The closest it's to 1 is, infant mortality and the oldest ages. And this is as close to natural death rates as you're going to get. The 15 to 24 year age bucket, that differential is mainly coming from what I would call non-natural causes of death. The highest causes of death in this age range come from non-natural causes: homicide, suicide, accidental causes like car accidents and other things, other kinds of accidental causes of death, like, say, drug overdoses and that kind of thing. And yes, males tend to do that sort of thing far more than females, period. And that's also true in the 25 to 34 age bucket. As we're getting more and more natural causes being the main cause of death, the ratio isn't as disparate, but it's still like 50% higher for males than for females. And that's cancers, that's all sorts of things. And it's not always a causal chain where it's something that males did or females did. We don't know. In some cases, we don't know. So I don't want to go down that path, as I said. Um, so again, what's the connection to Movember? They are focusing. I don't want to say just because I don't want to sound like I'm denigrating Movember because I'm absolutely not. Obviously, I am fundraising for Movember. I am very much on board on them focusing on specifically prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and suicide in men. And, I want them to remain focused on those causes. I don't want them to dilute their causes. Okay. The issue is that I think that, to a certain extent, men are not, um, okay. I think men should be aware of certain health risks that they have, do the screenings, especially for prostate cancer. I mean, I think women are very aware of the cancer screenings that are recommended for them. And, get the breast cancer screenings, get pap smears and stuff for cervical cancer and that kind of thing. And because of the traditional way of screening for prostate cancer had been the digital rectal test. Seriously, guys, it's a blood test. The PSA test, the main way to detect prostate cancer now, is a blood test. And again, I know people don't like getting blood drawn. It's it's not that bad. Get it done. If prostate cancer is detected early on, the interventions to treat prostate cancer early on tend to be far less invasive, far less destructive of sexual function. I'll just put it out there, okay, guys? So just get it done. You really don't want to be in the situation Stewart ended up in. Now, again, he was unlucky. I mean, he had been getting screened and stuff like that. You can have an aggressive cancer that grows fast, and this happens with breast cancer too, that you get screened and it grows so rapidly it ends up in the bones, etc. That has been in every age, just like with my father and having a heart attack at a very young age. It happens. Um, but, get screened. I'm glad there is a foundation that focuses specifically on prostate cancer. It is, one of the most common cancers that men face. So get screened for that. Testicular cancer is not as common, but among young men, if you do get a cancer, testicular cancer is one of the ones that you are more likely to have gotten. And so part of that is being aware of abnormalities. Okay? And, get things checked out. If things aren't going well, get things checked out. And that's also for mental health. So, we often talk about self care, and women often support each other with regards to self care. But men, take care of yourself too. And this comes back to my father because, in addition to being my biggest intellectual with regards to, say, math and logic and programming and all of that kind of thing, and bringing me to where I am today, he gave me one of my biggest pieces of life advice, which was be a good animal. And being a good animal means, sleeping when you're tired, moving your body when you need to, get the kinks out, and taking care of yourself. So men, please take care of yourself, you know, for yourself, for your families, for your friends, for everybody, for the world. We love you. Come on. And, I'm very pro Movember. And I do it for my dad. I do it for Stu. I do it for my son, Dermot. And I do it for everybody who loves men. And I love men. So let's go. Thank you. Talk to y'all later.